Challenge Cup, the PA, which is the Student Coxed Fours. And we've got a bit of a tideway derby here with Imperial College London on the left-hand side of your picture on the Berkshire station and the University of London on the Buckinghamshire station.
Yes, Imperial College London crew coached by Peter Hardcastle, Olympic rower for Australia. He and I were on the Olympic team together in 2008. Has been coaching over here for many years now and has been with Imperial for the last few years. But both of the crews, a pretty strong start here, evenly matched. Of course, this is a 4-oared boat, sweep rowing with a coxswain. You can see the little head of the coxswain just poking up behind the bow rower in each of the crews.
Yeah, you can. And as we saw in some of the coxless boats earlier on, we've got a bit of a crosswind here, which means that the wind is blowing across the course and it can really affect these boats out on the water. And so having that cox that can take away those thoughts and just master the steering and the calls will be helping both UL and Imperial here in this event.
And we can see as the race has started to unfold and now the crew's striding out, that it is the crew from the University of London with quite a handy lead. Both crews were really dynamic off the start, but I think settling into a really relaxed rhythm here. The Cox 4 is a tough boat because it is so much heavier, and I think getting that sit back in the second half of the stroke like the University of London crew is doing to really push that boat along is really important.
Totally, and you can see the difference here between those two crews. This isn't Imperial's top crew in the regatta. They've got an 8 that was in the Temple Challenge Cup this morning, but they're going up against UL's premier crew. UL, quite a history in this event, Sarah. They've won it 3 times before, most recently in 2021, the COVID year of Henley, but they are recent victors in the Prince Albert Challenge Cup, and you can see how well put together this crew is.
Yes, an incredibly well-drilled crew there. We get a great shot. I was talking about the coxswain earlier. You can see the cox sitting down with just the head poking over the top there. We've seen various configurations of coxswains in boats, but most crews now favouring, of course, the bow-loaded coxswain seat. It does make it difficult to cox from that position because you can't see the crew, unlike in an 8, obviously, which has a stern-loaded coxswain seat.
Yeah, and even, I think it's even harder again when you're in a 2-laned race, because at least when you're on a multi-lane course, you have a bit of an option to, you know, sort of poke your head round. When it's just one-on-one like this, it's very difficult to manage what's going on behind you, isn't it?
That's right. You can't see either the rowers in your crew, or if you're leading in the case of University of London, see if there is an attack potentially coming from the trailing crew. But of course the coxswain here from Imperial College has a good look on the leading crew from UL. They know the work that has to be done here, and I'm sure that they'll be looking to empty the tank all the way down the track here.
Yeah, this Imperial crew, college crew on screen. Andre Marr, we saw there in the coxswain seat, who learned to row with Imperial College Medics Boat Club, a separate boat club that sort of feeds into IC. We've got Victor Smirnov in the stroke seat, Francesco Calice in the 3 seat, Axel Kauki in the 2 seat, and Alexander Van Steenis in the bow seat. And again, with these student crews, you forget sometimes, you know, I'd say average age of 20 years old out here on the water. Yeah, we've got such a range here at Henley, don't we? We've got people who are doing their 14th Henleys all the way down to, we've only got one athlete on board in this Imperial College crew who's been to Henley before.
It is extraordinary, and I think it's one of the most amazing things about this event is that you have such a mix of people, whether it's, you know, world champions or Olympic champions, you know, names like Ollie Zeidler, who of course we're going to see racing here in the single scull in the Diamonds later this week, to school and club level athletes of all generations competing in this one event. It really is what makes it so special.
Yeah, it does. And going back to the UL crew in comparison, despite being students, you know, we've got Josh Burke in the stroke seat, 5 Henleys under his belt, and his 2nd year at the University of London, so more to come, I'm sure. This isn't going to be the last time we see him, not only in this regatta, because it looks like at the moment, unless Imperial have got some magic up their sleeve in this last few 100 metres, UL set to be winning out this tideway derby, but yeah, an average, I would say, 3-4 Henleys between the crew here, between Joseph Middleton, Ferdinand Robson, George Lachlan and Constanza Giovine de Girasole in the cox seat for UL, who's looking at us here on the left-hand side of the picture. But they've taken that rating right down, Sarah. They've got a lot of races this week. I sometimes forget we're on day 1, and this will be race 1 for them.
Absolutely. The crews who are able to get through will want to get through in the best shape possible, because as you say, it is a long week to get to Sunday with 6 days of the regatta now. But this crew from University of London, coached by Anthony Smith, as you said, they're a formed crew. They won the Ghent Regatta, they won the Metropolitan Regatta, and they would be looking to add a Henley Royal Regatta trophy to that collection.
A couple of years under his belt at UL now. Anthony Smith, Smithy, having moved there from St Paul's School, another crew with a reputation that precedes them here at Henley Royal Regatta, but looking to translate that experience here to the University of London, who have been unscathed through that 2,112 metres by their neighbouring club at the other end of the championship course, Imperial College London.